Now we move into chapter 7. The theme is the mention of the 144,000 sealed Jews.
Revelation 7. And after these things I saw 4 angels standing on the 4 corners of the earth, holding the 4 winds of the earth, that the wind should not blow on the earth, nor on the sea, nor on any tree.
You know, I talk about Satan being an imitator. Well, you know, in witchcraft, they have 4 directional spirits. They have the spirit of the north, south, east, and west. We were introduced to them in The Wizard of Oz. You had Glinda, who was the good witch of the north. You had the wicked witch of the west. And who was the good witch of the south? Who came up? Dorothy came up. So subtly, now I'm not saying if you watch The Wizard of Oz, you're going to go to hell. I'm just making the correlation of how God says he tells his angels to hold back until he seals the 144,000. Now we look at grace. So when you look at the 4 angels, if you look at it, it actually makes a cross. Just like when the children of Israel were led out of Egypt, they were supposed to put blood on the top, on the bottom, on both sides, and it made a cross. There's a hidden symbol in there that simply says, this is God's grace. Then we move to Revelation chapter 7, verse 2 and 3.
And I saw another angel ascending from the east, having the seal of the living God. And he cried with a loud voice to the 4 angels to whom it was given to hurt the earth and the sea, saying,
Hurt not the earth, neither the sea nor the trees, till we have sealed the servants of our God in their foreheads.
And I heard the number of them which were sealed.
And there were sealed 144,000 of all the tribes of the children of Israel.
Now, there are some people who believe that they're part of the 144,000. Well, when they come and say, I'm a part of the 144,000, you know what I ask them? I ask them, what tribe are they from? You see, Judah had 12,000. Reuben had 12,000. Gad had 12,000. Asher had 12,000. So you see, the 144,000 are Jews, and they come from these different tribes. Now, what does 12 mean in the Bible? 12 can be found 187 times in the Bible. Revelation alone has 22 occurrences of the number. The meaning of 12, which is considered to be a perfect number, is that it symbolizes God's power and authority, as well as serving as a perfect governmental foundation. It can also symbolize completeness or the nation of Israel as a whole, which you just saw that. Now in Revelation chapter 14, verses 3 and 4, it talks about the 144,000, and it gives even a better description. It says, and they were men. So if a woman comes and says, I'm one of the 144,000, you know it's not right. They are men that have not been defiled by women. They're totally obedient to Christ, and they were the first redeemed by God during the tribulation period. So if someone says they're part of the 144,000, they're absolutely wrong. So let's see what Revelation chapter 7, verse 9 and 10 says.
After this, I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindreds and people and tongues, stood before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed with white robes and palms in their hands, and cried with a loud voice, saying,
Salvation to our God, which sitteth upon the throne, and unto the Lamb.
Well, as we listen to that, there's something that comes to my mind, and that's the significance of the palm branch. It says they had palm branches in their hand. One, the palm branch represents the respect for royalty. Christ is the King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The Romans gave a palm branch to the winning athlete. Christ won the victory over sin. The palm represents the requirements of the high priest. The palm tree takes 30 years to produce fruit. A man must be 30 years old to become a high priest, and Jesus was 30 years old when he started his ministry. So you see the symbolism in that. Now, let's see what Revelation chapter 7, verse 11 and 12 says.
And all the angels stood round about the throne, and about the elders and the four beasts, and fell before the throne on their faces, and worshipped God, saying,
Amen. Blessing and glory and wisdom and thanksgiving and honor and power and might be unto our God forever and ever. Amen.
You know, I don't think we'll ever get tired of praising God when we get to heaven. You know why? Because we'll be able to see all the things that he saved us from. We'll be able to see all the things that Satan had planned for us that never occurred because of his grace and his mercy. I think about a lot of times I'm driving my car and I may not be paying attention. I swerve into a lane. I can't tell you how many times at the last second I look and I see a car and I come back in my lane. There could have been hundreds of times that I could have pulled out in front of a car and end up in a wreck. God has been very gracious to me, and he's been very gracious to you to allow you to be watching this video at this very moment.
And one of the elders answered, saying unto me,
What are these which are arrayed in white robes? And whence came they?
And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me,
These are they which came out of great tribulation, and have washed their robes, and made them white in the blood of the Lamb.
Who are these people? These are the people that have come through the tribulation period. And it says that they are washed by the blood of the Lamb. Now, there are people who would believe that no one is saved. If you miss the rapture, you cannot be saved, and that's not true.
Therefore are they before the throne of God, and serve him day and night in his temple. And he that sitteth on the throne shall dwell among them. They shall hunger no more, neither thirst any more, neither shall the sun light on them, nor any heat.
Well, that'll be good for my wife, because my wife and I have different temperatures. We like different things, and I'm sure some of you are the same way. There'll be no sun. There'll be no heat. God will have his own thermostat, and we'll all be at that point.
For the Lamb which is in the midst of the throne shall feed them, and shall lead them unto living fountains of waters, and God shall wipe away all tears from their eyes.
You see, folks, this is God's good news for the believer. You see, when he says he'll feed them, you have to understand, they have understood food shortages. They've gone through the tribulation period where wheat was a day's wages for a quart. He will give them fresh water. They understand water shortages. That of the tribulation period, they couldn't find the water. He will wipe away their tears. They understand the tremendous sorrows produced during the tribulation period. So this is the good news. The good news is that God is in total control of everything. Are you ready for that?